Good evening, YouTube. This week we're going to be working on my girlfriend's 2012 Range Rover Evoque and learning how to do rear brakes on a Range Rover. This is a 2012 Range Rover Evoque. It's got the 2-liter Ford EcoBoost turbo making 240 horsepower or something like that. It's all-wheel drive, pretty nice unit. My girlfriend drives it every single day. Because of that, the rear brakes are worn out. So let's go ahead and hop in this thing, see what they sound like, see how bad they are. I do have rear brakes for it in the garage. Take a gander. I don't know how to do rear brakes on a Range Rover. I've never actually worked on this car or any Range Rover before, so this will be a learning experience. Let's go ahead and take this thing just down the driveway real quick and see just how bad the brakes really are. I don't drive this car much, so I don't really know the ins or outs or goods or bads. Just kind of relying on my girlfriend to let me know. She got new tires a few weeks ago and the tire shop told her she needed rear brakes that day and quoted her $500 just to do the rear brakes. No deal. Alright, I'm gonna go slam on the brakes now. Ooh, man. Those are some nasty rear brakes. Jeez. Sounds like the right rear for the most part. We don't even have to take this thing up the road. That was enough for me. Oofta. Bad news bears. Let me do one more stop here. Oh, man. Well, good thing we're doing brakes. So I've done some research and it sounds like you have to put the rear brakes into maintenance mode so the caliper opens up. Apparently when it's in park, they lock. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and I'll teach you guys how to do it too. So we want to have the car on. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to push the park brake down. We're going to push the accelerator all the way down. And then we're going to on and off the start-stop button. So off, back on. I got it to go into maintenance mode. You hold the park brake down and the throttle down at the same time while turning the car off and then back on. And then you get this code that comes up that says parking brake in maintenance mode. We can now shut the car off and now we can work on it. You can actually hear the calipers. It's like an electric motor and it takes probably 30 seconds for those to release. You can actually hear them and then you know that it's in maintenance mode. So now we can jack the car up, take tires off and start doing brakes. Well, now that we have the parking brake in maintenance mode, let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the caliper bolts, which are right here and right down here, and they are a 13mm. And looks like I'll need a short extension as well. Why don't I just use a wrench? Now with the two caliper bolts removed, we're just going to attempt to remove the caliper. And don't forget to strap it up with something because you don't want the weight of the caliper hanging down on the brake line. It's very bad for your brake line. You also have this sensor right here that's connected to the electric parking brake actuator. So you don't want to wreck either of those two things. So pretty critical that you just hold it up with a bungee of some kind. We're going to use this guy and we're just going to bungee it up to the coil spring. Now let's go ahead and get these brake pads out of here. So this one's low, but we still got some use left in this pad if a guy wanted to keep running it. We're not going to. Let's see what the other side looks like. The other side, luckily, has some pad left, but we're talking millimeters. There's hardly anything left on this brake pad. Definitely due for a replacement. Since we're doing the rotor also, we're going to want to take the caliper brackets off. That's a 15 millimeter for those caliper bracket bolts. Let's go ahead and here, give it a couple hits. Those are on there. Now, the last piece of the puzzle, since we're doing rotors as well, is going to be getting this Torx head out of the rotor. So let's go ahead and clean this bolt up. Golly! Well, I feel like I'm going to be a little bit unprofessional here, but since I can't get my T50 Torx out for the rotor, the safety bolt or what have you, and I broke all the tools that I had in order to get that out, including multiple T50 bits, we're going to say screw it with the rotor on this side, since the pads were both good enough on this side yet where they weren't getting into the metal, they weren't making noise over here. I'm going to say that the rotor is probably fine. I did not take a micrometer or a caliper, and I did not see how thick the rotor was, but I don't feel any grooves, so we're okay in the groove department. So we're just going to go ahead and throw the pads back in here, and then I guess we'll go over to the other side and hope that that rotor's fine too. And there we have it, one side done. Let's go hopefully do as good or better of a job on the other side. Whew, after that conundrum of a side, I'm always a supporter of having a cold one while you're working. My cold one of choice, 1919 root beer, as usual. Just makes everything better. Well, I got your attention. Don't forget to like and subscribe right here in the corner of this video. And if you want to support the channel and the cars on the channel, go ahead to the link below in the description and pick up some Mickelson Racing Channel merchandise. I learned from the other side, the first thing I'm going to do over here is get that stinking rotor bolt off while the brakes are still holding it somewhat tight. Go figure, this side would come right out. Oh man. Well, I guess we're doing a rotor on this side. I'll have to figure out how to get that other side. Maybe I can drill it out. Let's see what these pads look like. Outside pad, a couple millimeters left. Inside pad, not so much. This is metal on metal, and it has been metal on metal for some time here. Yeah, this rotor is definitely junk. The other one was still okay. Let's see if we can pull this rotor off and see what the inside looks like. Oofda. There's what the good side looks like. There's what the bad side looks like. You can see the edging in it on camera. Can you see how bad the lip of it is? Pretty bad. This one definitely needs to be replaced. There's quite a lip on the outside. Yeah, no question about this one. Could not be saved. that is what new brakes is supposed to look like, and that's how smooth it is supposed to go when stuff is not rusty and dirty and all that garbage. So that's a nice looking brake rotor. We've got new brake pads. We've got these, I don't even know what they call, these little steel things that right on top of the brake pads, but we got those in there, and then we got them greased with brake grease, so they slide easily in and out, and so that keeps things from squeaking. And then we're good to go. So we got this rotor all cleaned up. We brake cleaned all the packaging oil to keep it from rusting inside the package. Make sure you guys do that. Otherwise, it's a really good way to warp your rotors. So next step, let's throw these freaking wheels and tires on and torque them down. Then this thing gets out of the shop. So I get back in this stupid Range Rover, and now I got no power, nothing lights up. So normally the dash says Land Rover on it, and I got nothing. The start button is like lit up, but nothing happens. All the interior lights are on. I can't lock or unlock it with the fob. I can't lock or unlock it with the door. The electronic trunk release doesn't come on, so this thing is dead. And I got nothing. I'm gonna pull a negative battery cable for a little while, and I guess see what happens. Jeez Louise. All that screwing around for a dead battery. For some reason, the battery was at 8 volts. I don't know why it drained that much while I was doing the service, the brake service on it, but that was weird. So we got our booster pack on there, and now it's good. Now it's running, it started, no problems. Strange. Well, now that we got the brakes done, let's take this thing for a cruise and make sure that it's all good. Let's go down the driveway here real quick, which is probably about a quarter mile. Oh yeah, the good stopping. Nice, quiet. Oh yeah, nice, quiet stopping now. Pedal seems pretty good. Awesome. So once you're done with your service and everything works great, you have to put your parking brake back to normal out of maintenance mode. To do that, it's the opposite of the procedure that we began the video with. So instead of pushing, you pull the parking brake and you press the accelerator all the way to the floor, toggle off and back on with your push button, and then the calipers, you'll hear the actuators move, and then you're good to go. Overall, not a bad procedure. You just have to know how to do it, and it's not that difficult. So that is a good thing. The test drive went very smooth, other than our dead battery. And yeah, we're good to go. We got our garage spot back open, so we're gonna go ahead and get the LS swapped 240, which is right back there somewhere, back into the garage, and we're gonna continue working on that sucker. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Don't forget to like and hit that subscribe right here in the corner of this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week on the Mickelson Racing channel.